Hey everyone, welcome back. I've been getting tons of requests to do a deep dive on Lachit Borphukon.
Yeah.
So that's what we're going to do today.
Awesome.
This guy, he's a pretty big deal in Assamese history, but I feel like a lot of people haven't really heard his full story.
Definitely.
We're going to be using this really cool biography from Dev Library.
Okay.
It's packed with all sorts of details.
Yeah.
And I think you guys are going to be blown away by some of the things we learn.
It's a fascinating story.
So get ready to be surprised, because this isn't just your typical history lesson.
It's not.
We're talking about a leader, a warrior, who went to some pretty extraordinary lengths to defend his homeland.
Right.
Like, seriously, legend has it that he beheaded his own uncle.
Mm-mm.
And his use of fire in battle, well, let's just say it wasn't your average campfire.
Definitely not.
So if you're ready to get fired up about history, stick around.
Lachit Borphukon is more than just a name in Assam. He's a symbol of resistance, of strategic brilliance, and, that unwavering kind of patriotism. You just don't see that often.
Right, yeah.
And his story, it still resonates centuries later because it really speaks to, the human spirit.
Yeah.
What we're willing to do for the things we believe in, the power one person can have to actually change history.
Absolutely. Okay, so before we get into all the drama and the battles and stuff, let's start with Lachit's early life, kind of set the stage.
Sure.
He was born in 16 in Saraighat, which is in Assam, and came from a really powerful Ahom family. Like his father, Momai Tamuli Barbarua, held the title of Barbarua.
Wow.
And that wasn't just, a fancy title.
No, that was a big deal.
It meant something.
The Barbarua was basically like the commander-in-chief of the entire Ahom army.
Wow.
Huge power, huge influence in the kingdom,
Yeah.
So it really tells you something about Lachit's family and the way he grew up.
So he basically grew up surrounded by power and influence.
Yeah, absolutely.
But here's the thing, and this is what I find really interesting.
Okay.
He didn't just, coast on his family name.
He did.
He actually worked his way up,
He did.
Started at the bottom.
Really?
Like as a simple personal assistant.
Huh.
Then he was put in charge of the royal horses.
Oh, wow.
Then the king's personal security.
Yeah.
And finally, he became a military leader.
Now that's commitment.
Talk about dedication and ambition, right?
It really shows you his competence, his commitment. It wasn't just like, oh, here's this position because of your family.
Right.
He had to prove himself. He earned it. Hard work, dedication.
And we can't forget about his education.
Right.
This wasn't just, sword fighting and stuff.
Yeah.
He went deep into Ahom scriptures, which are basically the religious texts of the Ahom kingdom.
Yeah, like their philosophical beliefs, all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He studied Hindu religion, economics, diplomacy.
Well-rounded.
I mean, it's like he was preparing to be a leader from the very beginning.
Yeah, that kind of broad education is so important.
Right.
It gave him a perspective, a wider view.
Yeah.
Equipped him to handle all sorts of situations, not just warfare.
Yeah.
But also like governing and diplomacy.
Yeah.
Understanding his people.
Right. Okay, so to really understand how important Lachit's story is, we got to talk about the whole Mughal conflict.
Yeah.
By 1662, Assam was under Mughal rule.
Right.
Forced to pay taxes to Emperor Aurangzeb.
Tough times.
It was a really tough time for the Assamese people.
Yeah.
And that's where Lachit steps up, becomes a true hero.
Imagine, your kingdom fighting for its very survival, its identity, its culture, everything.
Yeah.
That's when Lachit's leadership becomes crucial.
So that's where King Krakadwaj Singha comes in. He chooses Lachit specifically to lead the fight against the Mughal.
Huge responsibility.
I mean, that's a huge responsibility, especially considering how powerful the Mughal Empire was at the time.
Exactly.
And Lachit's first major victory is recapturing Guwahati in 1667. Now, Guwahati wasn't just some random city. It was a major hub.
Symbolic.
Really symbolic.
Yeah.
It was a huge victory and sent a message to the Mughals.
Like, we're not backing down.
Exactly. We're here to fight.
This victory was a turning point.
It was.
It showed the Mughals that Assam was serious.
Yeah.
They were going to resist.
But it wasn't all, celebrations and easy victories.
Right.
The Ahom army suffered a really bad defeat at the Alibi Ran in 1669.
Oh, no.
We're talking 10,000 soldiers lost.
Oh, wow.
That's a huge number, a serious setback.
A major blow.
But, and this is what's amazing about Lachit, He didn't let this defeat crush him.
That's resilience right there.
He bounced back,
He did.
Analyzed his mistakes, adapted his strategies, and came back even stronger.
That's what makes him so remarkable.
So we've got Lachit rising through the ranks, proving himself as a strategist, facing both victory and defeat.
It's quite a journey.
But there's a reason he's remembered as a legend, And that reason has to do with family drama, tough choices, and a quote that's echoed through history.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Let's get into it.
Let's do it. So this is where we get to one of those,
Yeah.
most famous stories about Lachit Borphukon.
Yeah.
And maybe a little controversial too.
Okay.
So picture this. The Mughals are on the attack again.
Okay.
They're pushing towards this place called Saraighat.
Saraighat.
It's a really strategic spot, super important.
Right.
And Lachit knows if they lose this position,
Yeah.
they're in trouble.
They're in big trouble.
So he's overseeing the construction of these fortifications, like a race against time
I bet.
to get them done.
Got it.
And this is where the family drama comes in.
Oh, here we go.
Lachit's own uncle was in charge of a really crucial part of these defenses.
Okay.
And for some reason,
Yeah.
maybe he underestimated how urgent it was.
Right.
Or maybe he just wasn't up to the job.
It happens.
He fell behind schedule. And Lachit, this guy's all about dedication, no compromises.
Right.
He took some pretty drastic action.
Drastic. How?
So there are actually a couple different versions of the story.
Okay.
Some say it was definitely his uncle.
Yeah.
Others say it was the lead engineer, the guy in charge of that part of the defenses.
Right.
But whoever it was, the message was clear.
And what was that message?
Basically, no slacking allowed.
Even if you're family.
Especially if you're family.
Wow.
He supposedly said, and this is the famous quote,
Yeah.
"My uncle is not bigger than the country."
Wow.
And then ordered the execution.
He had him executed.
Yeah. Talk about putting your money where your mouth is.
That's intense.
Right. Yeah.
No messing around.
That line has become like a symbol of Lachit's commitment.
Right.
He was putting Assam above everything else.
Family, personal ties.
Everything.
Wow.
It really makes you think about the choices leaders have to make sometimes.
Yeah.
The weight of responsibility.
Yeah, the tough calls.
The sacrifices, that come with leadership
Yeah.
in times of crisis.
Definitely. Okay, so let's talk about the big one.
The big showdown.
The Battle of Saraighat in 1671.
This is it.
This is where Lachit, even though he's battling a serious illness,
Oh, wow.
leads the Ahoms to victory against a much larger Mughal force.
It's incredible.
I mean, talk about commitment, right?
He was not giving up.
What's fascinating to me is that he didn't just rely on brute force. He was a brilliant strategist.
He was ahead of his time.
Using what they call guerrilla warfare.
Exactly.
That sounds pretty intense for the 17th century.
It was innovative.
So what did that look like, guerrilla warfare in Assam back then?
Well, you got to think about the terrain around Saraighat.
Okay.
Dense jungles, winding rivers, lots of hills.
Not exactly ideal for a big army like the Mughals had.
Not at all. They were used to these big open battlefields.
Right.
Traditional formations.
Yeah.
Lachit knew this, and he used it to his advantage.
So I'm imagining, surprise attacks.
Yes.
Ambushes. Using the rivers to outmaneuver the Mughal ships.
You got it.
Was it like that?
Absolutely. He would have used all those tactics.
Yeah.
Hit and run.
Very smart.
Keeping the Mughals on edge.
Never knowing where the next attack was coming from.
Exactly. And the rivers, those were essential for the Ahoms.
Right.
Transportation, escape routes,
Right. Strategic retreats.
Strike and disappear.
Before the Mughals could even react.
Exactly.
I remember that whole fire thing we were talking about.
Oh, yeah. The source was kind of vague on the details.
Yeah.
But it's definitely intriguing.
How did he use fire?
Well, we can only speculate.
Okay.
But based on what we know,
Yeah.
fire could have been used defensively.
Okay.
Creating a barrier.
Like a wall of fire?
Or to hide the movements of the Ahom troops. Create confusion.
That's clever.
Or offensively.
Oh.
Imagine flaming arrows.
Whoa.
Or boats loaded with fire attacking the Mughal ships.
That would have been an incredible sight.
It would have been terrifying.
So Lachit was thinking outside the box.
He was.
Using whatever he could to win.
Remember, gunpowder was still pretty new at this time.
Right.
So fire would have been a huge psychological weapon, too.
Like straight out of a movie.
Exactly.
So after this amazing victory at Saraighat, what happened to Lachit?
Well, sadly, he died the next year in 1672.
Oh, wow.
Just a year after his greatest triumph.
He didn't get to enjoy it for very long.
No, but his legacy.
Yeah.
His legacy lived on.
And speaking of legacy, you mentioned something called Lachit Diwas earlier. Can you tell us more about that? Why is his memory still so important to the people of Assam today?
Lachit is, it's a really special day.
Yeah.
Every year on November 24th.
Okay.
Which is Lachit's birthday.
Gotcha.
They celebrate Lachit Diwas in Assam.
Like a national holiday.
It is. It's a day of national pride.
Makes sense.
They remember his courage, his brilliance, that unwavering dedication to his homeland.
So it's not just about like remembering a battle or something.
Yeah.
It's more about what he stood for.
Exactly. It's about celebrating the qualities that Lachit embodied.
That's cool.
He represents the spirit of Assam.
Yeah.
The resilience of the people.
Right.
Their commitment to protecting their culture, their heritage.
So inspiring.
His story, it's like a reminder, that even when things seem impossible, courage and determination and strategic thinking can lead to victory.
Wow. Thinking back to where we started this deep dive, we've learned so much about Lachit Borphukon.
It's been a journey.
He's definitely more than just a name in a history book.
He's an icon.
He's a symbol, a legend.
A testament to what one person can do.
It's pretty incredible.
And you know what's amazing? Yeah. His story resonates with everyone.
Yeah, I can see that.
You don't have to be like a military expert or a history buff.
To appreciate what he did.
To appreciate his dedication, his courage.
Yeah, putting everything on the line for his people.
Exactly. Those are universal qualities,
Yeah.
They inspire us all.
To be better, to stand up for what we believe in.
To never give up hope.
Even when things are tough.
Exactly.
We talked a lot about Lachit's tactics, especially that whole guerrilla warfare thing.
It was brilliant.
It really got me thinking,
About what?
What did that actually look like back then?
Good question.
In 17th century Assam.
It's hard to imagine.
What kind of specific techniques did they use?
Oh, we can picture them using those dense jungles.
Right.
Setting traps for the Mughals.
Oh, yeah, like ambushes.
Ambushing patrol.
And then disappearing.
Back into the jungle.
Like ghosts.
Exactly.
I bet they used their knowledge of the terrain.
They must have.
Maybe even worked with local tribes.
Could be.
Who knew the jungle paths and all the secret waterways?
It's like a puzzle.
It is a historical puzzle.
Waiting to be solved.
I know what I'm doing this weekend.
What's that?
More research on Lachit Borphukon.
I love it.
Gotta find out more about those guerrilla tactics.
That's what makes a deep dive so great.
It does.
It leaves you wanting more.
It does.
Wanting to explore further.
Yeah, to learn more.
To connect the dots.
It's not just about listening.
No.
It's about, engaging with history.
Exactly.
Becoming a part of it.
Sparking your own curiosity.
Finding the answers for yourself.
That's the best part.
I love it. Well, on that note,
yeah.
I want to thank everyone for joining us.
Yes, thank you.
On this deep dive into the amazing life and legacy of Lachit Borphukon.
He was a true hero.
He was. Remember, every deep dive is unique.
That's right.
Tailored to your curiosity.
So keep exploring.
Keep questioning.
Keep diving deep.
Into the subjects that fascinate you.
Until next time.
See you then.